Believe me or believe me not, Joe Wilkes is back. Joe, hello, welcome back.
Hello, Martin. How are you, mate?
For those following the channel for some time, Joe and I did a lot of shows. He was based in New Zealand, talking about property, went out and filmed a whole bunch of different locations in New Zealand, and we got into the discussion of marginal borrowers and buyers and first-time buyers and government stimulus and all that sort of stuff. And then, Joe, you got a bit carried away with real estate, and then, you know, a few things, life caught up with you and you disappeared, but you're back now. So we should just give people a little bit of an update, because you've got really interesting insights now on New Zealand property, Australian property, and UK property. So what's been going on?
Yeah, well, I think the last time that we spoke was probably in the second lockdown in New Zealand, and at the time I'd recently been fired from being general manager of a national real estate company over there for my views on a certain medical thing that was going on around the world in 2020. And I then spent the following 2 years in New Zealand, escaped in May 2022, about 7 months before Jacinda Ardern bolted for America. I went back to the UK on the first flight that I could get out without taking any medicine. And then for 2.5 years, I was back in the UK, went back to the firm that I'd been a director of previously, and decided to go back on the tools. So I was actually on the front line valuing houses again, spent 2.5 years doing between 400 and 500 valuations a year, seeing a lot of what was going on. We had the whole debacle after the Liz Truss government, the spike in interest rates, which made things very, very challenging, which was pretty much 6 months after I got back. And more recently, I find myself in North Queensland and seeing, I suppose, the end of, I think it's the end of the debt bubble in Australia. But I said that about New Zealand for a while, and I called it a bit early. I think had it not been for all the financial stimulus of the COVID measures and people loaning money for doing nothing, New Zealand would have had a turnaround sooner than it happened. I mean, really, it started happening in 2022. But you know, it was inevitable, and house price to income ratios are very, very different there. But yeah, all three property markets very different, and economies very different. I used to think that governments, and people forget that govern means control and ment is Latin for mind. So you know, all our mind controllers have actually stimulated things in different ways and created various challenges for their indigenous populations, which are playing out in their various ways now.